presented by Auraverse, where consciousness, earth and inner wisdom move as one. Showcase your work at auraverse.network and let your voice travel across worlds.
Close your eyes for a moment and let a slow breath gather inside you. Feel the earth beneath the body, steady and patient, and sense how every inhale carries the memory of forests, oceans, and star-born dust. Awareness rises easily when the mind softens, and meaning arrives when attention becomes still. Welcome. I am C.S. Douglas, and this is Codex Æternum, the rational Bible, a testament to a phronopsychic universe, an intelligent conscience that expresses wisdom through structure, soul through life, and evolution through the living rhythm of all things.
This program is endorsed by Authorpedia, the world's only encyclopedia exclusively dedicated to authors, a living archive where writers and thinkers are immortalized through literature. Visit authorpedia.org and become part of our enduring legacy.
We enter Chapter 9 of the Dawn of Renewal, and we open Section 9.3, The Rebuilding of the Moral Order. After the long passage through collapse, humanity discovers a quiet truth. A civilization rises first in the heart, and the world follows after. Stone and timber return to the hands of the survivors, yet an even deeper work begins inside language, inside choice, inside conscience. The people gather to restore meaning. They place power back into service. They bring conscience back into the center of the village, the home, and the circle. Questions shift. People ask what carries dignity. People ask what nourishes life. People ask what strengthens the future. Values stand at the entrance, clear and luminous. Values rooted in breath, land, and the shared miracle of being alive. Communities form around principles that sustain. Decisions take shape through balance. Each action passes through a simple measure. Does it protect life? Does it honor tomorrow? Does it keep the spirit clean and whole? Elders and youth speak together, and the circle receives every voice. Correction becomes a form of healing, and justice becomes a slow art shaped by understanding. The community learns to guide the way a gardener guides a branch, firm enough to support growth, gentle enough to preserve life. A story travels from fire to fire. Once a village carried fear of thieves, and the fear hardened their hearts. In the renewal, they taught every child the art of giving. Bread shared in daylight, tools shared in season, shelter shared in storm. Care became abundant, and theft faded as a habit of hunger that found its nourishment in belonging. The moral order begins in the home. Children learn speech that carries purpose and actions that carry presence. Reverence returns to daily gestures, how one greets an elder, how one touches a seed, how one treats an animal, how one holds silence when another weeps. Kindness grows into custom, and custom grows into culture. Truth becomes a living atmosphere. Honesty feels natural, clean, and strong, like water drawn from a clear spring. A false word feels heavy in the mouth, and the community senses it quickly, the way the body senses spoiled food. Trust becomes the true currency of exchange, and work gains a sacred tone. Work returns as contribution shaped by gift. A builder honors the grower. A healer honors the storyteller. A tool maker honors the one who keeps the fire. Usefulness becomes a crown that fits every head, and dignity becomes a common garment. Leadership takes on its original meaning, stewardship. A leader listens, protects, guides, and remains close to the needs of the people. When a leader's center shifts away from service, the circle adjusts naturally, and another presence steps forward, calm, capable, and ready. Authority moves like a river, guided by the land, guided by necessity, guided by the living order. And now, something profound enters the council. The earth takes her seat. Every decision considers water, soil, air, seasons, and the beings who share the same breath. The living planet becomes a reference point, a witness, and a teacher. Choices begin to harmonize with the land, and the land answers with clearer streams, richer soil, and returning birdsong. Justice becomes deliberate, patient, and wise. Conflict enters the circle and meets the collective mind. Stories are heard, motives are understood. Harm is repaired. The community surrounds the wound until it closes, and the lesson becomes a lantern for the future. Generosity becomes the measure of character. Strength expresses itself as care. Wisdom expresses itself as mentorship. Fortune expresses itself as sharing that keeps no record, because the reward lives in the warmth of the village itself. As generosity rises, jealousy loosens. As purpose aligns, competition softens into collaboration. People grow together, and the tribe becomes a single organism, many hands, one pulse. The moral code finds its home in voice and memory. It sings in proverbs, travels in stories, and lives in ritual. It evolves with the people, and it returns again and again to its roots: dignity, truth, care, and balance. Accountability becomes an expression of love. People remind each other with compassion. People teach with patience. People lift one another back into alignment, as if tending a shared fire that must remain bright. And so, with each decision made in reverence, with each conflict resolved in peace, with each life honored with meaning, the new moral order takes root. It stands stronger than any written statute, because it lives in the character of the people. It shines because it carries the memory of loss and the intelligence of what life taught through survival. And now the path opens into the next movement of renewal. The people gather beneath trees, beside rivers, and upon open ground. They arrive with listening. They arrive with gratitude. The wind, stone, leaf, and rain become witnesses to a vow that returns to the world like a long-awaited homecoming. A covenant rises, simple, clear, and living. A covenant shaped by guardianship, reciprocity, and the recognition that humanity belongs inside the web of life. They speak vows aloud. They protect waters as they protect their own blood. They treat soil as sacred. They walk gently. They take what is needed, and they return what sustains. This covenant seals itself through action. Planting becomes a signature. Restoration becomes a promise kept. Each seed placed in earth becomes a word spoken in the language of future generations. A tale circles among the fires. Once a man poisoned a river for profit, and thirst entered his own household. In the renewal, his hands learned the art of cleansing the stream, and his grandchildren inherited the rite of renewal as a sacred family practice. The river carried forgiveness in its flow, and the people carried wisdom in their choices. Communities appoint guardians for each element: water keepers, forest watchers, soil stewards, air listeners. Devotion becomes their authority, and care becomes their title. Hunting returns as ritual shaped by respect. Purpose guides the act. Use becomes reverent. Gratitude follows, and names are remembered. Harvest follows lunar rhythm. Offerings return to fields and forests. Reciprocity becomes the law that requires no punishment because it feels like identity. Settlements grow in harmony with the land. Homes breathe with wind. Paths honor water. Villages take shape along the contours of terrain, and the earth becomes co-architect. Success receives a new definition. Biodiversity becomes wealth. Clear streams become treasure. Returning birds become blessing. Moss, bees, and wildflowers become signs of abundance. Humanity speaks of kinship with mountains, dialogue with storms, and alliance with seasons. The web of life becomes the center of belonging, and the spirit of the people returns to its original role: guardian, caretaker, listener, maker. Children learn to plant before they speak of progress. They learn the language of bees, the meaning of wind shifts, the sound of thirsty trees, the patience of roots. Festivals align with nature's rhythms. Songs rise with rain. Dances mark harvest. Fasting honors the land's rest. Celebration becomes synchronization. And as forests thicken, as seasons return with bounty, as wildlife flourishes again, the earth responds. She accepts the covenant. She offers her hand in return. In our next episode, we enter 9.5, the birth of the New Age, and we witness humanity step beyond survival into creation. As a living civilization of conscience rises with sunrise, seed, and sacred gratitude. Our next sponsor is Everly Books Publishing Group, a traditional independent press serving both new and established writers. Everly Books welcomes unsolicited manuscripts submitted directly through everlybooks.org.